your small business is booming and ready to expand, you might say something like,
"It's happening!"
Booyah!
Yeah!
Crushed it.
But if you need someone who can actually help protect your growing business, just say,
like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, your State Farm agent can help you get the coverage you need for your new space. For your small business insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more, with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/secure. Protect yourself now at aura.com/secure. This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Pushing the stage of the season just to get as deep into the games as possible. Try to take a load off the pen. Want to have clean innings, want to be efficient. I felt like we made some good pitches, and I put a lot of those base runners on base. So of course, you can make a good pitch and give up a bloop, but it doesn't matter. You put a guy on base. So it's still something to feel good about, just making pitches with guys on base, however they got there.
How about just your change there? That third inning, you're in trouble, and you just say, okay, I'm going to change up and breaking balls, and then those next two innings, and then also the sixth inning to be able to go right back to that fastball and have success. How encouraging is that?
Yeah, it's something we've talked about. Baldy, Murph, and I, Granny, it's just feeling comfortable throwing whatever the situation calls for, regardless of anything else. So I think that given where I was and where I am still, just not having this consistent stuff the way we ideally have it, developing the confidence on both sides, the catcher and me as well, being able to go to what a situation calls for is important. And we've got these outings and this part of the season. Obviously, it's not where we wanted to be, but we've got this situation to try to work on those things regardless of the outcome. So obviously, still trying to compete and get outs. But I think to do that, you've got to grow and you've got to find ways to get better. And then, my thought process is if I can learn some things and find ways to grow based on where I'm at in the short term, and then go into the off season and try to put some things back together and really hone in on some more central skills, then I'll be in an even better spot next year.
That's what I was going to ask. Can this be beneficial for you next year? If next year you're, throwing as hard as ever or whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that should be the focus all the time. I think even if we were, leading the division, heading into the postseason right now, I think we've, the motivation and kind of the application of that process would look different, but you got to get better. So, from start to start over a month, going into October, going into the off season. I mean, there's just in this, at the level this game's played, there's no time to waste in finding ways to improve, because the rest of the competition is gonna keep elevating around you all the time. So sometimes that can be difficult to manage in season. Sometimes it feels like you're taking one step back and take several steps forward, but I think that's necessary, and you've got to, like I said, depending on where you are and what kind of risks you can afford, you just got to be honest with how that process is going to look.
You and Franny seem to be talking after that first inning, maybe making changes, kind of animated. Is that something that, like, you make an adjustment, you want to know about mechanics, or you don't want to know about mechanics, or how does that all work for you?
Yeah, I honestly don't remember what we were talking about after the first, but I think we both felt like I was making good pitches and the stuff was fine, and it was just a matter of just being consistent in the intention of every pitch, and just didn't quite have the release point in the first. So I think for him it's just you're in the bullpen and you see what you've got, and sometimes it means nothing, sometimes it will tell you everything, and that transition from the stretch to the windup and the bullpen to the warming up on the game mound to the first inning. I mean, a lot happens. So that first inning's big, and kind of really understanding where you're at. And he's really good about, especially with me, and just having seen me pitch. I mean, those changes and being able to try to steer the ship where it needs to go based on what he sees.
How do you feel about how the late life has improved here the last few starts?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't great last start. And that's to be expected. I think that, like I said, it's you have to be willing to regress to move forward. I mean, it sounds silly, but that's how growth occurs. I mean, there's nothing that you can do in life or in baseball that feels fantastic the first time you do it, the second time you do it. I mean, it truly takes some strain to grow. So I think what's difficult is when you're going out and trying to win games and make pitches, get outs, to kind of weather through that and be willing to accept whatever happens in pursuit of long-term growth and improvement. So to see kind of an average increase today is really encouraging, and especially when the numbers are kind of lining up with what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling. That's really cool. So that tells me that I'm starting to own some of the improvements, and obviously I'm not sure how many starts I'll have left, but try to cement some of these things and take it in the offseason.
Spencer, obviously Jake Horton's a really special talent, but can I just ask you why should Drake Baldwin be Rookie of the Year?
Well, Cade Horton, very impressive pitcher. Obviously seen him twice in a week now, so to kind of do it a couple different ways, just the command. I mean, I've been watching him too, just as he's going through the season. He's a really impressive guy. Commands his zone super well. But Drake, I think just, I don't want to speak for him, but it didn't feel like coming into spring that anybody was really that sure that he was going to make the team. I don't know that it was something anybody was really thinking about at the beginning of spring, and then to get the opportunity and kind of be thrown into a really tough start to the season and a lot of responsibility right away. The way things were going, obviously the injuries to the pitching staff. I mean, I know we think about Rookie of the Year, it's a lot of offensive stats or for pitcher stats, but defensively, the catcher position, obviously how integral it is to the team. How to me, what he's done on that side of the ball as a rookie, just the way this season's going, I think it's something that you can't find anywhere else in the league from a guy in their first year. So obviously the offense speaks for itself, but quantifying that aspect of it, I think that's what, for me, puts him over the edge for anybody else.
Thanks, Spencer.